Hello and welcome to a special Channel 4 News programme to mark the 80th anniversary of the Allied victory over Japan, which brought the Second World War to a close. In a moment, we'll cross over to the National Memorial Arboretum, where the King, alongside veterans of the campaign, are taking part in a special commemoration, including a 2-minute silence at noon and a flypast by the Red Arrows. But first, Zara Wasami has the background to today's event and a warning. There are some distressing images.
A melody of remembrance for the Second World War's forgotten army. This morning, military bagpipers around the world playing the song, "The Battle's Over." These men and women fought for 3 more months in the Far East after the war in Europe had ended, fighting on until Japan surrendered and victory was declared. At the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire, the survivors arrived for a memorial service. 100-year-old Alfred Conway joined the Royal Navy aged just 18.
When the Japanese army surrendered, we were on our way back from Australia when they actually dropped the atomic bombs. I remember it, and I shall remember it until the end of the life.
And it will be remembered across the Commonwealth. The Burma campaign was fought by the 14th Army. British Indians, West Africans, Christians, Sikhs, Muslims, operating deep behind enemy lines. Joseph Hammond is one of a handful of Commonwealth survivors. I caught him at his home in Accra.
The whole ground was shaking. Planes bombing at the same time, artillery shelling. We replied them seriously because, the Japanese were fearless people.
And that fearlessness and their discipline gained the Japanese forces significant victories, especially early in the war. That was until the 6th of August 1945. At 8:15 a.m, the city of Hiroshima was devastated by an atomic bomb dropped by the United States, the first ever used in a conflict. On the 9th of August, the second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, eventually leading to the end of the Second World War, but they brought death and destruction on a massive scale. At least 120,000 people were killed in the first 4 days. And the cost on Japanese civilians has continued ever since.
The Japanese are some of those entrusted with a big task ahead.
80 years on, the generation that fought in the Far East will be the last to say they witnessed one of the war's darkest chapters with their own eyes.
Well, and there we are at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire, where the King and the Prime Minister and various dignitaries, together with veterans, are there for this special ceremony, and where buglers from the Royal Marines will perform the last post ahead of the 2-minute silence very shortly, just as the dignitaries take their seats.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
The exhortation recited by Ronald Gumley. The Revali performed by the Royal Marines, and the Kohima epitaph will now be read by veteran Owen Filer.
I'm okay. Yeah. When you go home, tell them of us, and for your tomorrows, we give our todays.
Well, let's leave the Arboretum ceremony for now, and Jonathan Rugman is with me in the studio, and it's an extraordinary moment and an opportunity to think about the contrast where we are now geopolitically with where we were then.
That's right. I mean, relations between the UK and Japan have not been as good as they are since the early 1900s, since we had an alliance with Japan. You may remember in 2021, the then Conservative government announced an Indo-Pacific tilt. What happened in 2022? Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and we remembered that Europe, yet again, was sucking us in. But yes, relations have been completely transformed. The HMS Prince of Wales, the aircraft carrier, is going to be docking in Tokyo Harbour later this month. So quite a transformation.